Coach, your group clawed back a number of times there in the fourth quarter. What did you see as the reason they could never get over that final hump?
It wasn't the fourth quarter that got us. It was the second quarter and the way we started the game. It was those pieces. You lose it at the end, but our process and our spirit wasn't right for this game. And I think that was, give San Antonio a ton of credit. Coming in off a back-to-back, getting in late, staying disciplined, staying focused, and just coming out and doing the job that they needed to do coming here.
It feels like the second or third game in a row where you guys haven't come out the way you wanted to. What needs to happen to get the ball rolling earlier than later?
That's a good question. It's a very good question. And what I'll say is that we need to take a look and understand exactly what we're trying to accomplish in these games, that we can't turn it on and off. It's not a light switch. You got to come out and play for 48. And we played about 8 good minutes of basketball.
Did you consider challenge? I know you only had one timeout. Did you consider challenging there at the end when there was 1.4 left, or on that block or foul?
Did I consider challenging it? What do you mean? Did I consider challenging it with one timeout left and 1.4 on the clock? They were already going to review the play, so it was already being challenged in that regard. So if I'd have called it and not got the challenge, I lose my timeout. We don't get a chance to win the game.
Sure.
Thank you.
Point, can the team obviously played those good 8 minutes to come back and make it a game, to tie the game. Can that be a little bit of fool's gold to know that you can kind of turn it on, as you said?
No.
A little bit. Is that a little bit of fool's gold then that you need to kind of teach these guys not to believe in?
No, we talk about it from, you got to respect everyone that steps in this building. Respect every time you step on the court, and you can't turn it on, you can't turn it off. You can't start a game that way and expect that you're just going to pull it out in the end.
Seems like Jase gave y'all a lot of energy in that fourth quarter. What do you make of his minutes?
I thought he was great. I thought he did a great job battling, competing, pushing the pace, getting rebounds, trying to defend the right way. I think he did all the things that we've asked him to do when he steps in the game.
Jay, you guys pushed there in the fourth quarter, but going back to the start of the game, how do you feel your team needed to start differently tonight?
I think it's an intentionality to come out with energy and purpose. We talked about it. We knew they're on a back-to-back. We know that's the toughest thing about back-to-backs is traveling, getting your rest, and then coming out and having that same burst of energy for 48 minutes to a game. And I think we allowed them to take the lead early and hold the lead for a while until it was time to come back, instead of delivering that first blow, really making them match our pace instead of playing at theirs, and then allowing the game to flow from that point and kind of waiting for our time to strike, which we did in the fourth. I think it showed a lot of growth from everybody, staying locked in up to that point and ready to make our run. But you can be better coming out. You can be better in certain stretches, so that that run that we make isn't to tie it up. That run that we make is to go up 4, 6, 8, and be in control of the game. So obviously we can be better in spots down the line. I think definitely me looking in the mirror and slowing down, finding my pace, understanding time score situation for everything I'm doing, offense and defense. And so I take a lot of that tonight, especially down the stretch, having a chance to go get one and go get a stop, and I didn't either. So,
What did you make of the way Jase played in that second half?
Yeah, I thought it was great. He just came in. He's been locked in. I think the whole time. He's got so much passion for the game. And you don't want him to lose that. So I was glad he got to come in and play and hoop freely. And he changed the game, from his couple stops he got, just his energy on the defensive side. You see him getting out to run. And I think offensively he was real decisive, whether it was driving, kicking, causing problems, to find his spray outs and find cutters. So I think he played a great game. I'm actually really proud of him. And, obviously, lost his suck and we can get better, but I thought he was a very, very bright spot tonight.
Jalen, in your view, what made De'Aaron such a difficult cover tonight? Is it a symptom of the kind of caliber of player he is, or was there certain actions that they were running that you guys were struggling with? Like, what did you see?
He's a good player. Gets downhill, gets to his spots, plays at his speed. Things that all point guards, should look at, watch, and try and replicate. I think he did a good job of that tonight. Sent it to the free throw line a couple too many times, myself included, in a couple of those. So think as you look at it and you watch the game, I thought he was pretty comfortable for most part of it. So I think in going forward, watching the game back and trying to find ways to disrupt the rhythm of guys like that, lead guard, ball handlers, who create a lot for their team. He did a solid job tonight of doing everything that was asked of him. So I think we can be better. I can be better. And yeah, sometimes you got to give a guy credit.
Spurs seem to turn to that zone defense in that second quarter. How difficult is it to break a zone when you're not hitting the shots as frequently as you want to?
I think it's just, how much the ball is moving. I think more so than, obviously you have to make shots to get a team out the zone, but being intentional about moving the ball, finding our spacings to attack the weak points of it, more actions, more passes, hurt a zone. I think we just took a little bit too long getting into our stuff as we seen it. So, we'll go back and talk about it. I think we played great against zone all year. I think they just did a good job of playing it tonight with Cornette there in the middle. And, we'll find, different ways and different opportunities to keep attacking zone. But I think we've been pretty good so far. So, really just emphasizing, things that we've been doing, ball movement, finding spots, finding the weak points and executing.
Coach mentioned this after Monday's game, mentioned again after tonight's game that you have to kind of guard against flipping the switch or feeling that you can flip a switch. How do you guard against that and prevent, kind of efforts like this, especially early, from happening regularly or happening again?
You repeat that? My bad. I got fucked up.
How do you prevent kind of this idea or this thought of being able to flip a switch, being able to come back late in a game from happening again or happening repeatedly?
I think, again, like I said, it's an intentionality to come out and play hard, to kind of put your will into the game. Weird way to put it, but to kind of control pace and control tempo and things of that nature. Like I said, I think we played at their pace for a majority of the game. When they wanted to play fast, we played fast, and I think when they wanted to slow the game down, both with their zone and with their sets, I think we allowed them to do so. So, yeah, in terms of flipping the switch, it's a long NBA season. These days come quick. We're all human beings, so it's almost impossible to ask a guy to be 100% of all he is every night. But I think that we can pick each other up, recognize who's where, who's what, and then still find a way to execute and be great, however that looks for our squad. So, yeah, like I said, I thought Jase did a great job in lifting us up, bringing them some life and doing that. I thought for the most part we played decent. Like I said, it's just kind of imposing your will on the other team, and I think that's the one piece that that we missed out on tonight. I think everything else is pretty solid outside of that.
Jalen, coming into tonight's game, you guys have gotten to the free throw line at the highest clip in the league, just over 30 attempts per game, just 19 tonight. When that's the case, is that something that you think about as you're kind of going through your progressions? Like, you're not getting the calls or things aren't going the same way that they've been all season. Like, do you have to adjust or you just keep attacking and try to get those trips to the line?
No, I mean, you have to adapt for sure. Recognizing how the game is going to be called and how the refs are operating that night is a part of the basketball game, and you can't just keep trying to put a square in a circle hole. You know what I'm saying? You got to find ways to continue adjusting and find ways to win. That's really it. I don't want to speak too much at all on the referees. They got a hard job. They're imperfect, as we are as players. So, yeah, I wouldn't say they're the reason we lost tonight, no matter how frustrating it is.
Thanks, Jalen. We got Jase here.
Jase, I know it didn't come with the result you wanted, but what did you make of your minutes in the fourth quarter and Coach having trusted you to play critical minutes down the stretch?
I just think, for me, just coming in those minutes, especially in a close game like that, you want to try to come out and try to be as competitive as you can. So me just trying to come in, make an impact. And, I was thankful for Coach, honestly, putting me in the fourth quarter, especially in a close game like this. So, just trying to make the most of my time.
Obviously it's up to Coach to play whoever, but is this the type of game that, could help you, build your confidence as a rookie?
Definitely, especially when it's a close game like this. You always want to play in close games, and it definitely builds your confidence, having Coach putting you in with 2 minutes left in the game, and he's trusting you to make a play. So it does a lot for your confidence.
Just for you, just kind of being on the bench, waiting for your turn. How do you stay prepared? How do you stay kind of mentally locked in for when that moment arrives to perform like you did tonight, like you did in Boston a few weeks ago?
Just staying engaged on the bench, trying to be an energizer, have fun on the bench and celebrations, getting in the huddles, communicating what I'm seeing, especially with the guys that aren't playing, Mo and Paulo. I'm talking to them every other play about what they see. So just trying to stay as locked in and engaged as I can.
It seems like you played maybe the last 12 to 15 minutes in the game. Was there a moment where you realized that you're not coming out of this game, you're finishing this off with the guys? And how does it feel going from not playing for about 3 quarters to going and playing in a high-intensity environment for that long?
I was checking the scores table, make sure I wasn't coming out after every dead ball. But just coming in, you always want to stay ready. You never know when your number's going to get called, and tonight it got called a little bit late. But you just got to be ready. And I think for me, just staying locked in, staying engaged as much as I can in the game, just kind of helps me stay in that locked in mode. And just trying to make a couple big plays here and there. I mean, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, but we can build from this.
Jalen, you kind of touched on the dialogue that you were having with some of the vets, but have you had discussions with Noah? Obviously, he's seen more playing time. Do you guys lean on each other's, saying like, okay, we got to be ready for these kind of moments?
I think we talk basically every game about just, staying ready, whether it's going to be in that last 2 minutes of a game or we're just randomly getting thrown in the second quarter. So just always being ready. I mean, me and him talk about it every day at practice, every day during the game, just being ready. I always see him on the sideline doing his little squats, making sure his knees are warm before he goes in, but, just staying ready.
Jase, you dropped in fresh off the bench, and your speed shows off on the court right away. Is that quick burst, the ability to get to the rim almost at will in a scramble play, and then off a handoff with J.I. with the dump-off wraparound pass, blowing up a handoff with the screen navigation, drawing the foul, are these the type of things that you feel like you can step in and bring to this team at any given moment?
I mean, most definitely. I think being a smaller guard, my advantage is my speed. So trying to use that as much as I can, especially in plays like that where I'm trying to get downhill on bigger guys. And then, when I see guys collapse that are 7 foot, I got to make the drop off. So just constantly keeping my eyes open for open cutters and open shooters.
Everyone good? All right. Thank you, James.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.